Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Sammy, Not People's TV, here with another live show. We're going to be speaking about Kobbie. We're going to be speaking about... I'm going to run through the latest transfer deal sheet from The Athletic. Far more info in terms of outgoings than it is in terms of incomings. And I've seen plenty of headlines, plenty of videos. What is this secret midfielder that people are talking about? Have I missed something? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to run through news you can actually trust, rather than what feels like some sort of Cluedo mystery. I've got no idea what's going on there. We'll also probably close the book on the... probably not, actually, let's be honest. On the Butt Scholes and Martinez situation. I'm not even slightly surprised that their response was how it was. But we'll run through it. And as I said, big part of today's conversation is going to be about Kobbie. How are you all doing? What are you getting up to today? You might hear a little bit of noise on the mic today, potentially. Getting some work done upstairs. Fun fact. Thought I'd let you know. Let's go and see who's here. We've got JC, we've got Maddie, we've got Carl. Happy birthday to you, Maddie. I saw that down there. We've got Alex, we've got Steph. We've got Volpez and some members. We've got Pranav, Smee, James. We've got Michael Clark. Not Michael Carrick. It's a shame. Should be here, Carrick. No, you shouldn't. Should be training. John McNulty and some non-members too. Chris, thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships to kick off today's show, man. As always. Tommy, we've got Mace, we've got Andrew, Gabriel, Hansley, and MCLJ Biscuits, which is a heck of a name. All right. Let's go on. Let's get on with today's show. Roll the sleeves up. Now, Mikes, I can see you down there gifting 5 memberships as well. All of you, we've got some good stuff lined up. As I said, we're going to be working on rejigging this. My idea, I'll tell you what it is. You know those sort of like football shirt presentation boxes where you can roll the shirt up and it has the shirt name showing outwards. I've got so many bloody replica shirts. I want to get that. I think it'll be a nice, neater way to do it. I want to try and get maybe a digital photo frame, put it up here, and then maybe members can then choose what photos, obviously, within reason, goes on it, and it can rotate and move around. I thought that would be a cool thing to do. Maybe we'll bring the gong back. Put a little spotlight on the gong. Don't know. We'll see. But I'm just going to improve the look of the studio. I think it needs to be refreshed. Right. It sounds like there's a bloody massive rat upstairs. Basically getting all the insulation taken out and putting some storage in with some boarding. So there's a lot going on above my head. You might not be able to hear it, but I'm trying not to be distracted. Now, can I just say, it must be a bad couple of weeks to be a Crystal Palace fan. Obviously, Glasner, it kind of hit the nuclear button, really. Is it as bad as what Ruben Amorim did? Well, it probably is, actually, really. But Glasner doing that, and then Mark Gahey going to City, and now Mateta looks like he's going to be moving to Juventus. I had a good run of it. I had a good team. Honestly, I do feel an element of sympathy for fans of clubs like Palace. Now, every club's got their problems, but it must suck to know that what you're watching is going to get picked apart at some point. I know United, like, you know, we have Ronaldo, and he said his dream was to play for Real Madrid. We knew that he was leaving. But United is a destination club. Real Madrid is. Liverpool can be, if you're an idiot. Look, Wharton in the summer. It's going to be a free-for-all after him now, because he's definitely leaving. Anyway, just thought I'd have a little chat there. What do you think about the bid as well? So I think Juve have gone in. This seems to be a standard thing for Italian clubs. I don't know why. They did it with Højlund. Napoli did. Xerxes, Roma were trying it with Xerxes. Going with a slight low loan fee and then an obligation to buy in the summer. They've gone in with like a 25 million obligation, but Palace want 10 more. But even 35. Doesn't seem that much for Mateta. Am I wrong? Yeah, Alex, I know their contract's expiring. I think he's got 18 months left on his deal. And he's rejected a new deal. Mark Gahey would have been free in the summer, so they've got 20 mil. It does seem cheap. Don't know. I mean, I know Crystal Palace would want over 100 mil for Adam Wharton. I don't know whether they're going to be losing some leverage in the negotiation, given all these sales that are happening, given the fact that their manager has left. I think the stability of the football club has disappeared a little bit. So if Adam Wharton is a player that we're going to be going after, I think all these things will probably help United in those negotiations. Now, before I go in and we have a conversation about the Nicky Butt stuff, I saw this. Now, I know this is from Samuel Luckhurst. So, glance at it. But it... Anyway, I'll tell you what the report is because you can read it there. Manchester United are considering an IMAX-style digital season ticket that would allow fans to stream matches from a specific section of Old Trafford. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen these photos or these videos. I believe this is... what's the name of that bloody stadium, man? The one that we went to. Is it the Ram Stadium in LA? I think it is. I know it's in LA, but I can't remember the name of the stadium. This. So, this is the Cosm, that's what it's called. And this is a sort of a fully immersive experience where you can go and sit there and watch the game. And the concept of this, that's it, the SoFi Stadium. Thank you very much. For some reason, the name just left my head. I think this is genuinely quite a good idea and quite innovative. Now, the thing for me that would decipher whether this is a good thing or a bad thing is the price point. And I just randomly wanted to pull this up because I don't know who I was watching. I was just scrolling. I was watching somebody speaking about the NBA League Pass. Correct me if I'm wrong, if there's any Americans in here. A, get back to bed. B, welcome aboard. Look how cheap it is. An NBA League Pass varies, by region and package, but generally ranges from about $17 to $25 a month or $110 to $160 for a season. Does that mean you can watch? I suppose it depends whether it's Western Conference, Eastern Conference, stuff like that. But for $160 a season, you can watch every NBA game. If you offered United fans all around the world the ability to watch games at Old Trafford from a specific point, so it's different to TV, and you did it at that price point, that's something new. That's something a little bit innovative, and I don't think that price point would actually be offensive. It's something to think about, and maybe this is Mose, I'm sure you do have to pay extra for playoffs. I'm just using that as a comparison and an example. Like a season ticket at Old Trafford is, what is it now? Sorry about that. Sounds like I'm getting burgled above me. What is it, like 45 quid a ticket ish times 19, 10, 40 plus 9 there, 9 times 50. It's about 700, 750. I don't know. Like, so some of you are saying that you'd be interested in that. That's, I've got such a bloody massive global fan base. This could be a very innovative way to offer something new to a lot of fans around the world that they'd actually enjoy, that would be completely different to what is available on the TV. Like, I hear things about moneymakers and stuff like this, and I think a lot of it is nonsense. I think this is actually quite an innovative idea that could enhance the experience for loads of United fans around the world. That's all. And it's reflective. If you haven't watched it, go on YouTube and just type in like Cosm, and you'll be able to see what it's like to watch a game there. It looks pretty cool. I suppose a bit VR. No, JR, I don't think it's like that. You're saying, I thought the idea that there's a cinema screen at Old Trafford, you can watch a game there for cheaper. Imagine how weird that would be. Roll up, roll up, roll up. The game is going on literally there, but come to this cinema and watch it outside. No, I think it's just taking advantage of new technologies, VR, and if any club could benefit from that, it's probably Manchester United, given our global fan base. One to watch, right? Anyway, let's go on and back into the news. Glenn, you're saying, how would it affect TNT and Sky? I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I think the rights of the Premier League would be the biggest blocker for that happening. But it's offering a completely different viewpoint that TV can't. would that take away from people subscribing? Well, that's what they would argue. Anyway, so something to watch. Something to watch. Honestly, that's my reaction to this. I was sitting there like, we had that short video prepared yesterday. It went out. It's something that you might have noticed. I've been wanting for a long time to bring short form content that I'm happy with to the channel. And me and Dan and Nick from the pod, who of course you'll know. By the way, the pod is coming back. We've just had a few teething problems. We were supposed to record on Sunday, but something happened. But we're now going to be doing 3 videos a week, 2 to 3 videos a week, like the one we did yesterday. Going to go out on TikTok, on Instagram, and hopefully on YouTube Shorts as well, and on Facebook, because there's so many bloody platforms. And yeah, just little more condensed versions, I suppose, of what we do in the lunchtimes. So hope you enjoyed that one yesterday. But yesterday's was, of course, on the Butt Scholes and Martinez situation. And it was recorded before their latest podcast came out. I'm going to run through the clips. And I've got a fair few things to say about it that I haven't already said, or I want to go in a little bit more detail on. And I like to think this is the last time that we'll have this conversation, because I don't just want to keep repeating it. But like I said in my main video yesterday, like how grim is it that we as United fans have to sit here and have these conversations about our former players like this? Like, I said that Paul Scholes was making himself look like a bit of a bellend. Mate, Nicky Butt is just making himself look like an A-grade twat. There's nothing else you can really be said on that. This is a clip that they published themselves. So this is the clip that they wanted to use to promote the podcast.
We exchanged messages on Instagram quite some time ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, he weren't happy with something I said. I sent him my phone number. I've not heard anything from him.
Oh.
First and foremost, he was brilliant on the day. Fair play to him. He's gone out and he's gone man-to-man against probably the best centre-forward in the world. And he was brilliant. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's fucking obvious that. Yeah. It's figure of speech.
Yeah, Man United, probably the biggest club in the world. At some point, as we did as players,
Hell.
you are going to take some criticism. You've got to deal with that.
Can you imagine being 18-year-old kids and having someone as big and as massive as Alan Hansen saying what he said about us? I didn't want to go out of the house for fucking weeks.
When we got stick as players, you don't go answering back. Used it as fuel, didn't we? I'm going to prove him wrong. Now, look, possibly we could have worded it better. I don't know. But again, as Nicky said, we're just having a laugh.
He was brilliant on a day, and well done. No one's more happy than me than a Man United fan.
Well, I think we have to take a bit of credit for Martinez's performance.
Hey, you are welcome, Martinez. You are welcome.
Mate. Yeah,
we'll stalk you up every fucking week.
Mate, the lack of awareness is startling. Really, really startling. And like this one here, this little bit here from the pod. Nicky Butt saying this.
But brilliant. He's done really well. But for me, we're a podcast. We talk about like three lads in a pub having a talk.
We talk like 3 lads in a pub. A pub which has 145,000 subscribers. A pub which 126,000 people have watched. That is a hell of a pub. You know. I was thinking about this off camera, right? When I started doing United People's TV, I had no legitimacy as far as a lot of United fans were concerned, because I wasn't from Manchester, and it took me a long time for me to be able to get through that and past that. Because at that point in time, it was full-time Devils, and that was when fan cams were taking over. It was Arsenal fan TV, and you had to be at the ground, you had to be with the mic. So I was doing there with Amy right at the very start, and Colin, rest in peace to Colin, who were there outside. I remember Colin interviewed Anthony Croller outside Goodison Park. We were doing fan cam content at the very beginning. But you had to be from Old Trafford to be legitimised. There is a point to this story, right? So it took me a long time to get through that. And I gained trust with everybody. But at the start, when it came to creative content and being a content creator, I hate that phrase, but it's what's being used. You didn't have anywhere near the same legitimacy as a former player did, so they could analyse the game better. It feels like what's going on here now is the flip side. Former players are now seeing what content creators and the landscape has created, and they want to get involved in it. And Nicky Butt is sitting there now trying to be a content creator when he's a former Manchester United player, and he doesn't think, and he feels like the same level of scrutiny should be applied to what he says compared to what I say. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it. They are professionals, and if they were to go on TV now and talk about the game, people would listen to them a hell of a lot more than what I did. In the exact same reverse, if they're going to try and do this, three lads in a pub, well, you don't record it then, lads. You can't use that. You cannot possibly use that. And this is just like, what do you mean, get emotional and react? Martinez walked through the mix zone and was asked about it by the journalists. So he responded. What do you mean, like, react? Of course he's going to... And of course, Mr. Brent is standing in the corner of Butt Scholes. Who could possibly have seen that coming? Oh, no. All three of them. Whoppers. All three of them. Not helping our football club. And this. Imagine Nicky Butt telling Martinez to grow up after what he's said originally. It's my head can't get round it. And you know what else I thought of? I want to put a hypothetical situation in mind, right? Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes in the pod, they speak about, we got criticism, And this is the criticism that they're going to be talking about. It's one of the most famous criticisms that ever happened. This is Alan Hansen, right? Speaking, of course, when United... In that summer, who did United sell? Was it Paul Ince? Was it Kanchelskis who went out of the team as well? I can't remember who else. But that was when the class of 92 came through and United lost at the start of the season. Alan Hansen goes on to say this.
The trick is always buy when you're strong. So he needs to buy players. You can't win anything with kids. You look at that line at Manchester United today, and Aston Villa at 2:15 when they get the team sheet, it's just going to give them a lift, and it'll happen every time he plays the kids. He's got...
Alan Hansen, very famous. Now let's flip the script. Let's imagine that's Alan Hansen sitting there, opposite Des Lynam, and let's imagine it's not just Match of the Day that goes out on a Saturday, and you can just close the book. Let's imagine that that's Alan Hansen saying it, and he gets clipped, gets 7.3 million views on Instagram, 4.6 million somewhere else. You turned it off, but you can't get away from it because all your friends are laughing. You're getting sent it constantly on WhatsApp. You're trying to turn that off, and then you go home and you see it somewhere else. You cannot possibly escape it. So for them to try and compare a situation that existed, it is just not true. And it's what I mean about a complete lack of bloody awareness, and which is unfortunately is where, not unfortunately, it's fortunate that Rio is sort of voicing it, but it's a shame that you have to point towards one person for actually understanding what the situation is compared to what they did. It's what Rio said. The difference in today's game, we didn't have all these voices, had a couple of voices on Match of the Day. I'm not doing this just simply because I read this. But it's just, the situations are not comparable. The scrutiny, back in the day, you used to be able to close away from. If you didn't want to read it, you didn't need to read it. You could hide from it. But this is the downside of what's... You open that door and now all these players have more money. Their brands are bigger. Personal, every single personalised. People will pay to see people wiping their asses. Weirdos, I know. But every single part of your life can now be monetised, and it can be turned into a documentary in ways that it just did not exist before. This is a man who came in, and I loved him straight away for how he was as a United player. We were a better team with him, and we were a worse team without him. And this is somebody who spent the last 2 years of his career battling injury after injury. Not only a metatarsal, but a bodge surgery. Not only that, but a freak knee injury after that. And not only that, but then a bloody ACL injury. And he's just coming back into the team. And I think he's actually played quite well. He's not been like pulling up trees. I think Martinez has, even before that City game, has played like 3, 4, 5 games. Like, oh yeah, cool. He's getting there. I was worried that he was never going to be able to get back because ACL injuries can do that to you. They can take a bit of power and strength out of your knee that you just never get back. Yet he's done that. And then in the build-up to the City game, they think that mocking him, it's just banter, lads, it's just a bit of criticism. No, you're just being a fucking idiot, mate. And you know what you're doing? You're exposing the fact that you don't watch football, because otherwise you would have been able to say that, yeah, he scored a hat-trick against Martinez in that first game, but other than that, he hasn't scored in 4 or 5 other games. But no, you don't watch football enough to have that sort of insight. When you don't have that sort of insight, what can we do? Feed the masses. Let's just get sound bites. You've just exposed the fact that you aren't an analyst. And instead of watching football from the sidelines, if you want to be a bloke in the pub, Nicky Butt, go be a bloke in the pub. Go sit there with a pint of bitter and read the paper. Don't try and pretend that this is criticism when it's not criticism. And I will stand up and people say like, I'm storming a teacup, all that shit. No, man. Call this out. The more you see it, the more, just ignore it, Sam. It'll go away. It won't go away. That doesn't work anymore. There's so many eyeballs everywhere that you have to create enough. That's the internet, isn't it? It used to feel like you could just ignore it and it might go away, but now it just won't. It will just get worse and worse. So you have to create enough energy and momentum against it. Bloody hell. There's a lot of banging going on upstairs. Let alone the fact that Alan Hansen was an ex-bloody Liverpool player. Of course he's going to criticise Man United. Like Rex, you just said it there. Right, it's a complete lack of awareness. I'm not going to say it's a lack of intelligence because they know exactly what they're doing, but they're pretending that it's something else. Like, if you're going to be a dick, own it. Right? Be a dick. That's who I am. Don't be a dick and then pretend that you love the football club. I'm only doing this for the... You're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't do that. I can't hear bloody anything right now. Let me see what you're saying down here. Captain T1 saying they probably do watch football just being ignorant. I know you can't hear it, but trust me, I can hear it. Gungshi, by the way, I missed you gifting memberships earlier. Thank you so much, man. For God's sake, Sam, drop it. You know what, Dave? I'm going to put you in a timeout, bro. Anytime you come into this chat, you're a miserable git. Go be miserable with Nicky Butt elsewhere. I'm bored of you. Who's banging their headboard? No, it's just basically I'm getting new boarding put in the insulation, and it just so happens that he's doing the bit right above my head at this point. There's loads you could do, but no, right above my head. Red Baron, you're saying these ex-players really need to understand that their words have power. They aren't just some random fans. Hey, if I need to step... Look, I've come out and I've criticised. I think the Maguire one, I criticised Maguire really heavily, man. And I feel... I actually did a follow-up video saying, did I ever go personal? Did I ever go overboard? I might have gone overboard with the criticism, but it was always about the professional, about how he was playing, what I was seeing on the pitch, and what I didn't think he was doing. Rather than me, I don't know, trying to mock him in some way. I did see the Brighton overhead kick last night. That was great. There is some stuff going on upstairs, right? Someone down there saying the difference, it was deep and it was personal. Look, Martinez, Dorgu, anybody else, my default position will be to defend United players. I will criticise them. I won't mock them like a playground bully and then pretend, actually, no. That's what I want best. And look, I said this yesterday, but Sky Sports tried to stick the knife in even more. If Sky Sports got their own way, that would have been Roy Keane interviewing Carrick before the game, after the stuff that Roy Keane was saying during the week. And just to finish on this note, and we're moving on, we're going to speak about Kobbie. Scholes and Butt were talking about how Martinez just needs to use it as fuel, needs to use it to respond. What, you mean like putting in a fantastic performance against City, keeping a clean sheet, and forcing Pep Guardiola to replace the best striker in the league because he can't do anything against you? Yeah, mate. I'm pretty sure he did use it as fuel. And I'm pretty sure he shoved it down your throat. But instead of coming out and saying, you know what? Fair enough. We probably overstepped the mark there. We'll think about it. You've doubled down on it. You've made your bed now, Scholes and Butt. Stay there. Someone's saying, is there a faction between the 92 class and 2000 versus 2005? What's 2005 class? Is that class? Who is 2005? Carrick? 2005. Should be able to know this more often. I'm just thinking about stuff that's going on upstairs. Hargreaves came in 2008. Carrick was a little bit after that. Right, let's talk about Mainoo. Indeed. Let's move on. Kobbie. It's been a rough start. I say start. It's been a rough bloody half of this. It's even more than half of the season. We've only got 4 months left. You know what the mad thing is? That start against City was Kobbie's first Premier League start this season. It's mad, isn't it? Mikey saying 2005 was a new cycle. Like Rio, look, I'm not going to create any sort of factional beef between blah, 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 blah. I just think Rio understands, probably because Rio's been involved in it more. He's been, I suppose, a content creator for longer and understands the landscape and the impact that it can have and does have. But here's some good news, right? So Kobbie's first start in the league was against City, and it was a fantastic performance. I'll run through a little bit from Jamie Carragher on Sky Sports, well, Monday Night Football yesterday. But Fabrizio here saying that Kobbie is now expected to stay after instant trust by Carrick. He was considering a loan exit. The contract situation still is a bit whiffy. I'll be completely honest. I don't think any of us can say that Kobbie's made a mistake so far in not signing that new deal. It feels like he's kind of been justified to delay that situation, to delay that choice. Everything that's gone on. Look, if Ruben Amorim was still here, Kobbie would be going out to Napoli on loan. But he's not. He's staying. And look, I think it was Brian down there saying, yeah, I did see last night, if you didn't watch it, I'll pull up this bit. It was a really good segment from Carragher and Henry. And again, this is what you talk about. Like, this is something that former players can do that no content creator could ever do. There's a little 10, 15-minute segment listening to Henry and listening to Carragher speaking about United's zonal 4-4-2 and the press and Kobbie jumping up to mark Rodri and also how United are playing out from the back. And then we're going and we're inviting the man-to-man press in order to create a little bit of an overload going forward. This is where voices like Thierry Henry and Jamie Carragher have authority and power in ways that content creators can't. And that's what they're good at. And that's where I love listening to former players. You're former players. I want to hear your insight and your knowledge in the game that you spent 20 years in. That's where I think you've got incredible knowledge and value. But look at this, man. Look at that work rate. I'll be honest. I know I've said that again. I've said it quite a lot. But when you were watching that game, I didn't feel like United were like running around everywhere. Like we do, like sometimes we have done before when there's loads of spaces, ground. Because I've said that Kobbie Mainoo's not a ground coverage player. He's not going to eat that, but he covered more ground against City than any United player has in any game this season, which is massively ironic, really, considering the athletic side of his game was the main reason that Ruben Amorim kept him out. But it felt like United's shape. Maybe it was like smaller sprints. I don't quite know. But I didn't feel like we were running around everywhere against City. But apparently we were. And yeah, look, 4 out of the top 5 from this season were in that game against City from United players. That's how much energy there was from United out of possession. And Kobbie was top of that list. I'm going to go down here and read some of your comments out. And you're saying, if you told me 20 years ago an ex-Liverpool player would be less against United analysis, I'd say you were mental. I like Ruben Jamie Carragher. He's a bit of a dick. He spits at kids. But very good analyst. Extremely good from a tactical perspective. I enjoy listening to him. I enjoy watching him. I think he's got a great grasp of the game. And I learn stuff through watching some of Jamie Carragher. Just in the same way I learn stuff from listening to Thierry Henry. Still spits at kids, though. Yeah, anyway, Kobbie. My lunchtime video is going to be a little bit of a summary of the season so far for him, the frustrations there have been. I'm going to speak a bit more about that City performance. And I'm going to speak about how the road ahead now looks very different. Let me do a quick poll here. I've got a question for you, right? Oh, never mind. It's logged me in the wrong account for some reason. Just type yes or no. Do you think Kobbie gets into the World Cup squad? Because that's his motivation this season. I think it's a big reason why you've seen Luke Shaw be how he is this season, because he wants to get into that squad. From now until the summer, we might see the best version of Harry Maguire as well, because he wants to get into that England squad. Yes or no? Do you think he gets in? Because it is a competitive position in that England squad. Elliot Anderson is sort of like head and shoulders above, isn't he? Who else is there? Declan Rice. I wish I could do a poll here. It's really annoying. Maybe I can do it here. Let me pull my phone out. I actually want to get a poll on this. Can I do a poll? On my phone. Dip. Nope. That's not what I want. Let me do a poll. Poll. Not poll. No. Never mind. Stupid thing. Let me see. I can't see it down here because there's a bit split. It was kind of what I thought it was going to be. A lot of you are saying yes, but plenty of you are saying no as well. I personally feel he's swimming upstream because he's missed so much of this season so far. But I don't think it's impossible. And basically, I don't even know when the squad is chosen, but if he plays like he did against City and he continues that and he stays injury-free, he's going to force himself into that conversation. And rightly so. So, Kobbie, you can bury the first half of this season and say, well, that was a grim 6 months, wasn't it? But now let's kick on, let's start again. Oh, man. This community is just... I wish United's former players were as bloody good as this community was. JC gifting 40 memberships. Gungshi with another 20 and Mania with 10. Thank you all so much, man, for enabling me to hopefully continue building this community. By the way, ladies and gents, we're scouting out some venues for the first live show that's going to be coming hopefully in the summertime. That's the plan. We're working on that and we're putting the groundwork in. Me, Maddie and Alex. We'll also, past that point, we're going to be... It's an ambition of mine this year. UPTV will do our first live show and also first global meetup. Now, I don't know exactly what that would mean, but I don't know. Maybe speak to the New York Supporters Club and I can fly out there and we can meet some of the fans and maybe we can just watch a game together. A bit more casual. Wouldn't be anything like a live show, but just getting to meet you all. I think that'll be a really cool thing. Oh, why can't I see those either? Stupid bloody. It's logged me out of this, and I need to log back in. I think I missed a super chat up there. Yeah, I did. Someone sent a super chat, and now it's gone. God damn. Because normally I can just go back and read them. Magic Mike is saying, Butt was not a good enough player to be speaking the way he is. Like Phil, were at best rotation players, so we need to calm down. Whether they're... I suppose you could say they have more authority to speak with. No, but if Keane said it, he'd still be a dick. If Beckham said it, he'd still be a dick. If Rooney said it, he'd still be a dick. It doesn't actually matter. I suppose it matters to a certain degree, but it doesn't give you freedom to be more of a dick simply because you were a better player, if I'm being honest. That's the way I feel on it. Right. Should we move? We could have a... No, you know what? Yeah, we've got time. Will Scholes be a guest? Those IMAX screenings would be a good place for a meet-up. Yeah, if one ever actually happened. Maybe you can do that. If they ever show United game in the Cosm in LA, we could go and watch the game together. That'd be cool. All these ideas would be awesome. Someone down there saying, Sam, can you imagine a midfield of Kobbie and Anderson behind Bruno? Oh. Mate, if we get... I don't know how... I'm an optimistic guy, right? We're going to have to really come up with some offer for Elliot Anderson. Just random here. What price do you think Elliot Anderson actually leaves for in the summer? Because he will leave Forest. And he will be the most wanted player from the Premier League, I think. City will want him, probably to replace Rodri. Liverpool, I think, will want him too. Arsenal, I don't think, need him. Chelsea will just try and sign everybody. And no, there's no point having Spurs in this conversation. So it's kind of between United, Liverpool, and City is probably what I would say. Red Barry saying, I'm still buzzing after the City win. You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to watch the highlights. I'm going to watch United do the 90 and 20. I'm going to watch that 20 minutes. I haven't watched it back yet. Toby, you think 100 plus? Ravi, you're saying 80 mil. Eric, you're saying 40 mil. Eric, stop drinking this early in the morning, man. It's bad for you. 110, 90 plus, says Steve. 105, says Doc. Graham, you're going for 100. I think it's north of 100. You do realise that Manchester United haven't signed a player for north of 100 mil. City have. Arsenal have. Liverpool have. Chelsea have. United haven't. I know we've spectacularly wasted money, but we've not actually broken that 100 mil barrier for anybody. I think the closest was Pogba if you use inflation. Is that right? I think so. But we've never broken it. Random. Speaking about transfers, though, right? I'm going to run through everything that's written in the latest Athletic deal sheet. I'll ask you again now. I'll sit start show, but I might miss your comments. What's this mystery midfielder I keep seeing everywhere? Like, where's it coming from? Was it TalkSport? Like, where's the story from? And what midfielder are we talking about here? I don't even know. I know Pogba was underneath, but as my point is I think the Pogba price adjusted for inflation, and if you were to pay that money in now, I think would be the closest to 100 mil we could get. Darren, you're saying the Declan Rice and Caicedo transfers are kind of set the benchmark. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like Ben Jacobs. For real? Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, and happy birthday to Matt. I've already said that. Ruben Neves. Hey, Ruben Neves could happen. Maybe if Ugarte leaves. And I think that's kind of the first thing I want to speak about here. Is this. Actually, I was supposed to speak about something else first. But this. From The Athletic. Ajax have made an inquiry over Ugarte, but at this stage, a deal is considered unlikely. They want a new number 6 and have Ugarte on the list. They've been looking at a loan, but with no long-term decisions expected this month due to Jordi Cruyff only starting as sporting director on the 1st of February. But United have so far declined Ajax's proposal. So Ugarte and Ajax. Maybe not. You could have Ruben Neves and Ugarte are hardly similar players, really. maybe Ugarte's one to watch. Maybe. It's kind of as far as that goes. I think that's probably the only way that United get a midfielder is if Ugarte, they find him and they I don't know, move him out on loan with an obligation, whatever, and then they replace him inside the squad. I can't see United signing a midfielder and then keeping Ugarte too. Someone saying I'll keep Ugarte as a squad player. Yeah. Leon saying always loans, these guys are broke. Well, it's not just that. It's like, guys, the Premier League is a Super League. I know that we're not affected by it because we're in the Super League. But boy, it is a little bit of a Super League now. Rumblings of Hayden Hackney. Is that because of Michael Carrick? Hayden Hackney was also linked in the summer. Scholes returning from retirement again. Man, that was the part that killed Paul Pogba basically at United. Was it Blackburn? Was it that game against Blackburn? Can't remember. Anyway, Yan Diomande. I want to speak about him. Again, this is from The Athletic saying, look, Leipzig winger Diomande has attracted interest from United and Spurs, good luck Spurs, among other clubs in Europe. His asking price would be 100 million euros or more. 19. Now, Diomande had a rather good AFCON. Ahmad was playing alongside him for Ivory Coast. He's definitely one to watch, I would say. I don't think anything's going to happen in January, but I imagine that's probably going to be one of the big ones in the summer. Truth be told, I don't think United are going to be able to afford him. You saw the price tag there. 100 million euros. It's the Red Bull model. They're incredibly good at it. Finding players. Where did he play for? Like Lejeune or something like that in Spain? Finding players and their value being double a year later. That's what they do. Move on. That's their model. Clearly, he's a very good player. I don't think United are going to be spending anywhere near that much on a player in that position on the pitch. Last summer was all about the rebuilding the attack. This summer, it's about rebuilding the midfield. That's where the majority of our money is going to go. And if anything, you're going to be signing a centre-back, probably. Now, if I was to speak about Diomande, I would say right here, this is exactly the sort of signing that I want Chris Vavell to surprise me with. I'm not saying give me Diomande after Leipzig have signed him and he's had a breakthrough year. I'm saying find me that player that can have that breakthrough year at Man United and within 1 year has massively developed into this star player. I'd say that's exactly the reason we've got Chris Vavell in is not to go and spend 100 mil on a player like Diomande. It's to go and find a player that we paid 20 mil for and a year later he's worth 60. That is what I want. It's a type of signing. People say Morgan Rogers. Whew. Morgan Rogers was he I think he was my dream signing in the summer. Man, good player. Anyway, can't imagine we're going to be going after him. And just a full run through here from The Athletic on what else could be happening in terms of outgoings for United. As I said, like you can have a conversation about mystery midfielders from bloody Ben Jacobs if you want, but you're just teasing yourself. You're just going to leave yourself blue balls, basically. I don't particularly think United are going to be doing anything. Yeah, look, fingers crossed, Poz, you might be right. It could be a Roscoe. We've signed a 17-year-old Colombian captain. He's joining because he turns 18 in the summer. Let's see. By the way, he was only a mil. Diego Leon, he's playing for the under-21s. Might be going out on loan in January. Not actually anything written down here about this. But look, this is what else is written. United have so far not entertained any negotiations for Xerxes. He was absent from the win against City due to a knock, but Roma don't think they're going to be getting him. Tyler Fredrickson, he could be leaving on loan. I think that would be the right thing for him to do. I had him down as leaving on loan in the summer. I actually think I had him down maybe as a permanent sale. I don't know. I don't know whether I'm being unfair. I didn't see a future starter for United. I don't know. Anyway, looks like he could be going out on loan. Tyler Fredrickson. So that's Xerxes likely staying. We've turned down any sort of approach for Ugarte so far. Fredrickson maybe going out on loan. Toby Collier, he's expected to join Hull for the remainder of the season. Didn't realise that the whole were under a transfer embargo, so they cannot pay a loan fee. That's generous of United. If I remember correctly as well, I think United paid Amas's wages at Sheffield Wednesday. Speaking of Amas, look, Ethan Wheatley looks like he's going to be going on loan to Bradford. He was just recalled from, was it Northampton? I think it was Northampton. And there's no decision made on Harry Amas yet. He will, quote unquote, definitely go out on loan again. He's been linked with Stoke. He was on loan at Sheffield Wednesday. Having some time off. So, God knows what's happening. We're going to see, probably before the end of January, Amas go on loan, ideally to another championship club, and ideally to someone chasing promotion. That's the sweet spot for me in terms of championship loans. But yeah, so Amas could be leaving. Collier, Fredrickson, nothing on Xerxes, nothing on Ugarte. Wheatley's going to. Maybe we'll update the whiteboard towards the end, but the overwhelming majority of these are just conversations about players leaving rather than anybody coming in for Michael Carrick. It's kind of felt that way, well, not even just for Michael Carrick, and maybe it's part of the reason as well why Ruben Amorim blew up in the way that he did, because United went after Semenyo. We didn't get Semenyo, and he wanted more players, and they just weren't budging. Either way, Do I think it's impossible that United sign a midfielder? No, but it would be a surprise. It would be a little bit unexpected, because I don't think United are looking at any short-term fixes, even if it would give us something a little bit more. Last minute of the show, fire in your questions. Anything you want me to speak about more that I haven't spoken about? Someone down there saying we need to loan out Kone, the Fletcher twins, Fitzgerald, Bianchetti, and Obi. Jack and Tyler are probably going to be in and around the first team environment. Kone, that could work. I thought he was getting linked to Lausanne. Was it Lausanne he was getting linked to? Who's on there? Was it Enzo Canabiec? That was the lad that we signed on a free from Le Havre. Man, it's why. Imagine I actually tried to be a pundit elsewhere. It'd be impossible, man. The amount of United facts and knowledge I've got in my head, there wouldn't be space for anything else. Something that we're going to be coming out, that's going to be coming out quite soon, by the way, is we're going to have the latest versions of the Belieber, Wharton, and Anderson scouting series. We already did one version of it. We said we're going to do it every few months. It's been a few months, so we're going to give you the updated version. What's gone on between then and now. What's going to happen with Lacey? I think Lacey's going to really enjoy himself second half of this season. I think he's going to get some minutes in the Premier League. He's already made his debut. He's in and around the first team now. Not exactly got any FA Cup games to play. Wow. Vivek loan half-season review. That could happen. That could happen. Do I think United will get Champions League football? I said before the City game, Alex, that asked me after these two games. Looking pretty good right now for us to be in with a shout, but I thought we had to get performances. And I'm not saying, hey, I would have taken 2 draws against City and Arsenal. Truth be told, so I think we've already over-exceeded what I would have taken as my minimum expectations. But imagine we can come through both with 6 points. I didn't think we were going to beat City, and we did. I think Arsenal will be harder, and especially at the Emirates. But I'm bloody looking forward to that game on Sunday. It's been a good long time since we've had a proper battle against Arsenal. And it really was my favourite time of being a United fan. I wasn't old. I wasn't even that old. What was it? 96 to 2003. So I was 14 when it finished. Yeah, I was in and around. I enjoyed it. But that period of Arsenal and United being the 2 top teams, I'd love to go to the Emirates and win. Let's see what goes on there. Thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, as I said, I'm massively disappointed that our former players are acting in the way that they are acting. But you cannot try and say, grow up having done what you've done, Nicky Butt, right? Lack of self-awareness, man. Unreal. Right, lunchtime video is going to be on Kobbie and Carrick. I want to do that. And yeah, I'll be here tomorrow morning. Probably with a little bit less noise upstairs. Take it easy, everybody. And thank you all. And to Gungshi and to JC, all of you, thank you for just making this community what it is. All of you, please get into the Discord. The link is in the description. Free to join. If you have any problems, you can join in and ask the mods. They'll help you and they'll guide you around. All right? Take it easy.